Well, it's a cold December afternoon. Very cold outside, just before Christmas. Well, anyway, I have heard about this technique where you take the moss, add milk, throw it in the blender, and then if you brush that onto things, it will grow. Now, I read it in the Sunset book or magazine probably more than 40 years ago, and that one they said to use buttermilk. But recently I heard from one of my customers who was talking to the guys that build the rock retaining wall, and they said just use milk. Well, anyway, I got some organic milk. My wife doesn't know that I took part of this. Also, I did invest in the cheapest blender I could find because I don't think she's going to be really happy if I use a really nice one in the kitchen. So anyway, I'll go ahead and put this moss and put the milk, throw it in the blender, and see what kind of smoothie we could make. I'm not sure about the proportions, so I'm just going to kind of wing it. And that's what we do around here, don't we? Just wing it. Oh, looks like we could use a little bit more moss. Maybe, or maybe not. Oh, what the heck. Okay, I got the lid on tight. I guess it doesn't take a lot of... Since we really don't know how much to put in, I'll just put what's left over. Well, you know, all these things that we read about, hear about, you gotta actually test it out, right? It just took me a while. So, I put the lid back on. I think that looks about right. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is to just paint it on. Yeah, I think this looks like the right consistency. Okay, this is the concrete tray that I made. Now, I think it'll look so much better if it did have moss around it, right? So, yeah, I think this consistency might be just about right. So what am I going to do? I'm going to run around the nursery and just put some on here and there and see what happens till I run out, right? Okay. Well, this rock is right by my entry to my office. So what I'm going to do is to put part of it and then we'll see. It might take a while though. So anyway, I didn't want to cover the whole thing because if I did, we won't know whether it's actually working or nature has taken its course. Okay, sitting on my fence is my mountaintop. Some are starting to weather because it's been sitting around for a long time. Let's see if we could hurry it up with moss. So this is some more the experiment. Okay, I was here These rocks that I've been collecting for the last 40, 50 years. Well, I took some and kind of put some on each different types of rocks to see what kind of reaction we'll get. So I just put dabs here and dabs there, and hopefully we'll find out how it works. Over here we have rocks that's mounted so that we could either make root over rock or clasping. Anyway, these been prepared so that it stays flat in the container. Anyway, there's all kinds of rocks there, so I put some on different ones. Like I was saying, this is just all experimental. Okay, here's some my remaining concrete trays that I made, over a decade ago. So some of it is starting to get some growth on it. I just slapped some more little bit on there, see what happens. My theory always has been, if you hear something, read about something, try it. It just took me a while. Well, I've been collecting the moss off the ground and off the rocks, so I've been getting by, but I've been wanting to try this for a number of years. So you see where it is. And this milk, I always thought that buttermilk was to acidify. But I'm getting to think that the milk itself is like a glue. You know how when you have milk in your glass and you don't wash it right away, it kind of gets hard to remove, right? I think that's the theory. So now that this morning was very cold and we're not seeing rain for maybe another week or so, hopefully, and then so that the milk should bind it and then stick. And I think that's the theory. So we're getting into the time of the year when it's wet and cold, so it's natural moss growing season. So once this dries on the rock, hopefully it'll stay put and start to spread. Anyway, that's what I'm hoping, and that's what I think is going to happen. See this rock here? This is something that I moved into place, and there was not much moss on it, but it's starting to grow. So this is very natural. So you could see the discoloration or different color, then that's the part that I slapped on. So we're just gonna sit and wait. Yeah, anytime you see or hear something, go ahead and give it a shot. But like I was saying, maybe you do not want to use your good blender that's in the house, unless you're a single guy or gal and you're the only one that have to worry about it. But yeah, I don't think my wife was going to be happy, so I just went out and bought a really cheap unit. So backtracking, remember this is the part that was starting to get natural moss, and I hit it with my wheels on my cart or something, so it scraped and then had a raw spot. So I had it there and then some behind. So after that part, I did this backside, and then to see if it will go faster than the natural process. Nature actually is trying to get moss on it. The darkness, sort of the blackness tint there, that's the start of the moss. So it's kind of headed that way. And then so we're going to see if this addition will be faster. See, this concrete walkway that leads to the office is starting to get moss on it, which is not really a good thing because it gets slippery. But that's sort of the natural process. And this one here did not have any. I didn't want to cover the whole thing, so I just put some in the front. It's I think it'll be a good experiment to see if it will work. This one here is not exposed to the rain directly, so it may not react as good as some of the others. Well, it's right next to my soil mixing. So anyway, we should be able to keep an eye on it. So, okay, so this concludes our experiment. Unfortunately, it may take 2 years. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. And then as I see results, I'll be reporting back. So this is Hiro saying goodbye. I'll see you again real soon in another chapter. And once again, if you're going to try this, do not use your good blender from the house.